Hey friends, this is Dolynny TV. Glad to be alongside you for another edition. It's been hit and miss this past 2 weeks. I do apologize for that. Sometimes in a year, life gets in the way and obviously has to be tended to. So, of course, that's what's happening here behind the scenes on the channel. But, of course, that doesn't mean that there isn't Edmonton Oilers news to get to and stuff to discuss as the summer goes on. We head into August tomorrow, which means, well, we should start hearing some stuff a little bit more seriously about kind of the last few items on our checklist this summer. We got four, right? We got four, maybe five. I can name five things right off the top of my head. I know I've always knocked it down to kind of a 1, 2, 3, but we got five, and we'll discuss that here in a matter of moments. If you're new to the channel, though, I want you to consider hitting that subscribe button throughout the duration of this video. Go check out the channel. Then, if you want to, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, Dolynny TV, multifaceted, as you saw if you're a subscriber with those shorts last night. Okay, what do we know? Well, we know we got, number one, Mr. Leon Draisaitl to take care of. There's been numerous reports in the past week. What we know is there's a frame, time frame, there's a contract frame. There's a bunch of different things floating out there. His agents talked about late August. I know that there was news from, I believe, Bob Stauffer saying it's going to be a long-term deal, and kind of everything's kind of falling into place here. And I think based on how it's going to shape out, you're going to see, especially, I'd follow Patrick from the Oilers Fanatic on this front. He has got this down to a T. He's been on top of this. But I think from what he's feeding me right now, it's definitely something you're going to see progress quite heavily over the next 2-3 weeks. Because of course, what his agent said. That's all I really want to say. I will again direct you to Patrick's video tonight. If he's able to get it out, that is where you're going to want to get the latest on Leon Draisaitl. I'm just saying that's a checklist item. That's why we're talking about it here in today's video. Now, the secondary checklist item when it comes to contract signings is, of course, Philip Broberg and Broberg Holloway, which will happen after Leon Draisaitl, one would assume, right? You're going to want to take care of Draisaitl. Then you're going to want to get a clearer picture of the cap headed into September, and that's when you'll take care of those two guys as you get close to this. So that's really the only update right there. I think if you comb social media, if you follow Oilers Nation, if you follow kind of the periphery Twitter accounts around Oilers Nation, you would know that Philip Broberg, Broberg Holloway have been actively spotted on Oilers social media, actively spotted with other Oilers. So there's been quite a bit of good summer had by our Edmonton Oilers team, and that's where we're seeing things kind of progress, where they will be done here sooner or later. That, of course, lends its hand, just as everything else does in this video, to the situation you find yourself in with Evander Kane, right? So Broberg Holloway, Philip Broberg are 1 or 2 and 3 on this list. Evander Kane is number 4. What we know about Evander Kane is, well, nothing. I think there's a clear path. Hart Levine laid it out last week on Oilers Now with Bob Stauffer, Hart Levine with Puckpedia, laying out that if you put Evander Kane on LTIR, you're up over the cap by 2.65. The math gets easy. You trade CC after everything, after Kane's ready to be reactivated, fully healthy, because you cannot, and I stress this with utmost importance, you cannot afford to reactivate Evander Kane from LTIR until he's 100% tip-top perfect. Because if he's not, it's a waste of your time. As we've seen over the past 2 seasons, Evander Kane has not been the impact difference maker that we know 100% at times he can be for the Edmonton Oilers. So that's where I think that kind of takes care of that. And obviously, too, I've already given away number 5 on the list, which is a Cody Ceci trade, which if the Oilers choose to go a different direction heading into camp to try and get a 23-man roster, may be possible to do with, of course, trading Cody Ceci. I know I think the math still says 22, but I guess if you send down Josh Brown, you send down Derek Ryan, you bring up some 775 contracts, you can do 23, I'm sure. So that's where we find ourselves on this front. That said, I'm being honest with you, I've missed a lot of time here over the past few weeks, right? I think you flash back to July 24th, last Wednesday. I'm dealing with kind of the situation going on. First day of dealing with it, and you wake up, you go to work, and the first thing you see on social media is that the Oilers have hired Stan Bowman as general manager. I'm not sitting here thinking anyone really truly cares to hear what I have to say on this front. But again, I think it's quite clear I really do not give a hoot about Stan Bowman, because simply he should have never ended up here, knowing that for once in Oilers history, the entirety, at least my Oilers history watching the team, the entirety of the fan base was united around the fact that you don't need to hire a general manager. Jeff, just do the job. So, end of the day, I really, it comes down to simply, you didn't need to have a circus because the job was already being done, right? And that's where it comes down to it. You did not need to bring in Bowman at all. You did not need to give a second chance at all. Somebody else could have done it. And secondarily, now you're stuck kind of being that team that's the conduit for everything everyone has talked about Stan Bowman having to do to make up for what he's been a part of in the past. So, yeah, I'm really not impressed, I guess would be the way to put it on that front. It's really something I was disappointed that happened. And again, yes, I understand we've been the team that gives second chances and all, but it's not like this job couldn't have been done without Bowman. That's the thing. I think 100%. There's some other stuff to be said about the other guys we brought in on second chances. Bowman was not a need to make move, right? No. So that's really my feelings. And end of the day is, anytime you have negative feelings towards a move in oil country, you hope to be proven wrong, right? That's what I've learned in 6 years doing this channel, is anytime you say, no, I don't like this guy, I don't like the story, I don't like anything about this, you hope to be proven wrong, because that is best case scenario, right? So we'll see what happens here, but again, not a fan of the move because it was already dealt with. Jeff Jackson had the best run of general managing in Oilers history since Kevin Lowe in the summer of 05 to the trade deadline of 06. So I'm sorry, that's where I sit on that, and I know I don't know if anyone really cares to hear that, but that's what I got for you. So friends, that's today's edition. At the end of the day, I'm going to head back to dealing with the situation at hand. You'll hear from me periodically over the next several weeks, and then hopefully by the time the Penticton rookie camp rolls around, we're ready to fire up and get going here on the channel for the 24-25 NHL season. Thanks for being aboard on Dolynny TV. Like I said off the top, definitely go check out the rest of the stuff on the channel. There's plenty of goodies, plenty of oldies around here in the 10 plus years of doing Dolynny TV. For right now though, I am up on out of here.